Hi, I'm Gareth Spence and welcome to Tech Talk. The edge of the network has come into sharp focus in recent years. As the last mile is aggressively upgraded, service providers are trying to redefine their networks to respond to large growth in bandwidth demand. To help me understand this trend and how Adtran is helping to solve it, I'm joined by Robert Conger. Robert, let's start by talking about this big street cabinet next to us. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so inside the street cabinet, so this is a temp-hardened street cabinet deployed in any environment, typically deployed on a concrete pad. And inside this, we actually have an optical transport system, so obviously temp-hardened transport system and a fiber access system. So imagine a scenario where you're actually doing up to 800 gig transport out to an edge network, and from that point, you're deploying PON technology to deliver fiber to the home type solutions. And so in a single system like this, you can deploy thousands of subscribers. You actually see there's additional capacity available if you wanted to add multiple access nodes. So you're talking about 10,000 type fiber access customers, including 800 gig transport, all out of this single cabinet type solution.
Clearly, all of this equipment is very important, but I understand that Adtran's Edge OLS is one of the heroes of the unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, you think about traditional DWDM systems, you think big iron systems inside of central offices, and through the evolution of now modern technology, you can now push everything coherent, 800 gig, all the way out to the edge, put everything now in a much more compact footprint that's actually able to withstand the extreme temp environments, and then combining that with this access solutions, that's what enables us to put everything in a smaller footprint. So it's really the modernization of technology, getting everything in a more compact footprint that allows us to do that.
You mentioned pushing Coherent out there.
Yeah.
How does that Coherent approach differ from traditional solutions?
Yeah, so if you think about, again, we'll go back to the traditional big iron DWDM systems, you think large ROADMs and everything else. That was what a coherent system looked like. You'd use it in optical core networks. You didn't really apply it as much in the access networks, mainly because of cost. The equipment was too large, doesn't fit in street cabinets, wasn't temp hardened. But now with Edge OLS, I've actually taken that coherent technology and I've optimized it for the edge of the network. And so smaller footprint, lower power, lower cost, everything. Now I can put it into street cabinets. And with everything being coherent now, why would you do coherent? Well, more capacity. Now I can take that same fiber, maybe I was using gray fiber or dark fiber. Now I've put coherent, now I have more channels, so more bandwidth. I'm using multiple 100 gig, 400 gig, or even 800 gig channels on a single fiber. So it's all about capacity, but it all comes down to using purpose-built solutions rather than general purpose systems.
Much of the talk on the show floor is about how incredible it is that all of this optical technology can be deployed in an actual street cabinet without heating and without cooling. What has Adtran done here to make it happen?
Yeah, so again, I'd go back to optimization around the use case. So we want to take an application and say, hey, we've got this great technology developed for the core. How can I build solutions that are more optimized for the edge? Because we see all this growth out in the edge. We're doing more in the fiber access. We're obviously doing much more fiber to the home. And with fiber home, it's not just GPON now, it's multi-gig services over 10 gig PON. So I have a high density, hundreds of 10 gig ports that now need 100 gig, 400 gig backhaul. And so by taking the latest advancements in 100 ZR type technologies, 400 gig, pushing that into smaller footprints, combining that with OLS solutions that are now shrunk down into smaller footprints. It's the combination of all that. The system itself all shrunk down and optimized for the edge.
And how flexible is a solution like that?
Well, I mean, it's a big part of what we put in. So by leveraging the latest pluggable optics from which are kind of state of the art in the optical industry, by leveraging that technology, I can scale easily from 10, 100, 400, even 800 gig. So if I'm looking about growth for the future, like, hey, I'm at in by 10 gig today, I need to get to 100 gig, so 100 ZR, perfect fit. Well, maybe in the future I need to go to 400 gig, or even beyond that I need to go to 800 gig. So all of that is covered in these solutions. So you kind of can deploy today and then kind of grow over time. So there's no really, if you're looking at a lot of this infrastructure, you're trying to deploy something now, but you really don't anticipate taking this gear out over the next 10 plus years. This is going to be here for a while, so you need to be able to grow as the bandwidth growth grows over the next 10 years. So if you're talking about 30% annual compound growth on bandwidth, you're going to need more over time. This allows you to grow with that.
And when Adtran talks about unlocking the coherent optical edge, is this what it's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. This is exactly what we're talking about. So the coherent edge being, coherent's no longer just a core technology, it's an edge technology, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Putting it into street cabinets, deploying it further out on the edge, unlocking more bandwidth, getting more out of your fiber network. Same amount of fibers, just a whole lot more capacity now by using Coherent closer to the edge.
Fantastic. Robert, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth.